Somewhere midway in my work career, I made the most liberating decision. And the decision was this: I didn't always have to be right. Hello and welcome to Why People Hate Work, where we are dedicated to improving the workplace by challenging some of those behaviors that don't serve us well and coming up with better solutions. You know, it wasn't that long ago in the American workplace where people's value was assessed by their ability to consistently have all of the right answers. And by the way, if you could spew the right answer out in a room full of people before any of your team members, you got extra bonus points and maybe a promotion. I once worked with an individual who would routinely dazzle his audiences with his ability to do math in his head. Well, let me see, said individual would cast his eyes upward as if looking for divine goodness. If you bought 624 units and the landed price was $16.78 and your sell-through was 34% and your gross margin was 42%, then your gross would be $11,272 and your net would be $5,232. And then said individual would gaze at his audience who were just amazed at his terrific math ability. Now, I spent a lot of time with this individual, and as you can imagine, not all of it productive. So perhaps out of boredom, maybe just curiosity, I started just doing a double check on the calculator. Let me see, sales, net revenue, not even close. So here's an individual who is dazzling anyone who will listen with his ability to be right. But in fact, the answer was wrong. This idea that we're consistently right is in fact just an illusion. So I made a very liberating decision, not only for myself, but for the teams I had the privilege of working with. I gave up on being right consistently. Now that may sound like business sacrilege, because let's face it, from the moment we're in grade school, we are constantly rewarded for always having the right answer. Now, to be sure, there is such a thing as a right answer. 2 plus 2 obviously equals 4. But increasingly, it seems, we are tackling very complex issues. And those complex issues require a commitment of inquiry and collaboration where we look for the best possible solution versus one individual having the right answer. So when I gave up being right all the time, I gave up a chunk of my professional persona, but I replaced it instead with collaboration. Because you see, if I had to be right 100% of the time, that meant the rest of the team by default was wrong. And that is a failure to honor the great diversity of skill sets and thoughts and knowledge that everybody else brings to the workplace. If I was right all of the time, I was failing to use all of those resources to come up with the best possible solution. And then there's this. If I had to be right 100% of the time, I was certainly setting myself up for failure, because the reality is no one is right 100% of the time, and everybody knows that. So by setting myself up to be right, ultimately I was setting myself up to be wrong and subjecting myself to behind-the-back ridicule. And if I had to be right 100% of the time, I was putting tremendous pressure on myself because it was an unrealistic expectation. So I don't need to be right 100% of the time, but I do need to be able to commit to finding the best possible solution. And how is that done? It's done by the engagement of the entire team. It's done by honoring their diversity of thought processes, their vast wealth of knowledge, and their commitment to the project. And then we align and commit to presenting that best possible solution. If we can replace that archaic idea of one person always having to be right with the commitment to finding the best possible solution, not only will we improve business output, but we will have happier, better, more productive workplaces as well. So if you're engaged by this, please drop your comments below so we can have a discussion. And if you like it and hit that button. Please share this and subscribe. Thank you.